right, thank you for that introduction, Dan. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Sun Belt Conference Football Media Days. So it's so great to be with all of you. The theme kind of is, Sun Belt rising and kind of our kind of transformation into this football conference that we are today. You think about a century ago, the age of jazz was born here in the city of New Orleans. Louis Armstrong and his counterparts started a revolution in music, bringing a transformational and exciting musical style to the world. 50 years later, with the construction of the Louisiana Superdome, the largest domed stadium in the world at the time it was built, New Orleans launched the age of colossal dome stadiums. These multi-purpose venues allowed for grand experience for college football national championships, Final Fours, and Super Bowls. Today, New Orleans is home to the Sun Belt Conference and the launch of a new age of college football for our conference. As by well-respected ESPN football writer Bill Connolly, when summarizing the current state of FBS non-autonomy football, he said, "The age of Sun Belt is upon us." It's great to be with you in our home city. The Sun Belt Conference offices are located not too far from here in the iconic Superdome, the most iconic building in sports. It's hosted countless Sugar Bowls, 6 NCAA Final Fours, and 7 Super Bowls, with an 8th on the way in February. We share our home with the offices of the All-State Sugar Bowl and with the NFL's New Orleans Saints, led by former Arkansas State linebacker Demario Davis, the defensive MVP of last year's Pro Bowl games. During the next 2 days, you will hear from Sun Belt Conference football coaches and student athletes from the Media Hotel, where I currently stand, and the Sun Belt Conference Bank Plus studios in the iconic Dome. Our dual broadcast will allow you to learn about Sun Belt Conference football through media interviews here, in addition to more personal one-on-one interviews with coaches and student athletes from our studio. This event is not only a kickoff to the 2024 football season, but an opportunity to share Sun Belt accomplishments and accolades. Last year at this event, we honored former Georgia Southern football head coach and 2-time National Coach of the Year, Paul Johnson, for his induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. This year, 2 more individuals from current Sun Belt members will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. 4-time first-team and 6-time Pro Bowl selection wide receiver Randy Moss from Marshall, and 2-time Walter Payton Award winner and 2-time national championship quarterback Armonte Edwards from App State. They will both be inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame in December. Also, while we await the kickoff of the college football season, folks will turn their attention to the Summer Olympics in Paris, where the United States of America will be represented by Melissa Jefferson from Coastal Carolina, the 2022 NCAA Indoor Track and Field 60-meter champion, and she will headline a contingent of 9 individuals representing 7 Sun Belt Conference institutions in Paris. I congratulate Randy, Melissa, and all past and present Sun Belt Conference student athletes whose hard work and dedication has contributed to the rise of this conference. I would also like to take this opportunity to highlight a few special Sun Belt achievements. Since the 2018-19 season, the Sun Belt has more than doubled its NCAA championship and bowl season postseason participation from 17 teams in 2018-19 to a total of 37 teams last year. Over the next 2 days, we will showcase the exceptional quality of football programs, but we want to excel at every sport, not just football. We are well on our way to achieving the goal. Last year, Belt earned 4 NCAA championship bids in baseball, 3 NCAA championship bids in softball, 4 NCAA championship bids in women's volleyball, 2 NCAA championship bids in women's soccer, and 5 NCAA championship bids in men's soccer, including 3 teams in the Sweet 16. You couple those numbers with a record, FBS record 12 bowl season participants in football last season, and it means we had quite a year competitively. 2023-24 has demonstrated that the Sun Belt is truly rising. As the old saying goes, time flies when you're having fun. Today marks my 6th football media day, which is really hard to believe. So much has happened since May 1st, 2019, and so much continues to change in the college sports landscape. The football season truly starts today with this event, and the first Sun Belt football games of the season kick off in 37 days. So 1 in Monroe, Louisiana, while ULM hosts Jacksonville State, and then Coastal will go on the road. ULM hosts Jackson State, and then Coastal will go on the road that same day to take on Jacksonville State. The season will conclude with the Hercules Tires Sun Belt Football Championship game, which will be on Saturday, December 7th. I'm so excited about the start of the football season, and I will attend 3 games that opening week, which will be really, really fun. This is really shaping up to be the most memorable and exciting football season in Sun Belt history. We're here to celebrate the ascendance of Sun Belt football and hear insights from all the people that will make the upcoming season the best in our conference's history. There are 5 new coaches, we've got new student athletes, new athletics directors, and a new hotel, all contributing to more energy, excitement, and interest than we had last year. But the 2023 football season will be a tough act to follow. Last year, the Sun Belt led FBS with 12 teams participating in bowl season and had 4 teams with victories over autonomy. As last year's football season, I'm certain that our best days are ahead. Last year, the 5 non-autonomy conferences placed a total of 36 in NCAA postseason football spots. A third of those spots went to the Sun Belt. The 12 bowl teams placed in bowls of those conferences, and really any of the conferences in all of FBS. The Sun Belt continues to rise, continues to turn heads, and continues to prove that we are a star. Over the last 2 seasons, we've had 8 wins over autonomy conference schools, had multiple 10-win teams for 6 straight seasons. It has been an incredible ride for us, and the best is yet to come. We owe this rising momentum to individuals like Randy Moss, Armonte Edwards, and former Commissioner Wright Waters, who had the vision, dedication, and passion to put Sun Belt football on solid footing. We're truly thankful to all those before us who paved the way for our current success, and we continue to break records and reach new heights. Over the next 2 days, you'll have the opportunity to engage the head coaches, the football student athletes from all 14 of our Sun Belt member institutions. Today, we will showcase the Sun Belt East, and tomorrow, we will showcase the Sun Belt West. In addition, Sun Belt Coordinator of Football Officials John McDade will review new rules for the 2024 football season and provide valuable insight into the complex nature of college football officiating at the highest level. We are lucky to work with the best football officiating coordinator on the planet. John is innovative, thoughtful, and a tremendous communicator. His presentation will give you great insights into the rhythm of college football officiating, including training, evaluation, and education, and ask all of you to ask him a ton of questions, because I know those are the questions I'm going to get on Mondays after the weekend when the season goes. So please ask those right now, ask those tomorrow to John to maybe save me some answering in the fall. To the media in attendance, we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today in this fantastic city to celebrate Sun Belt football. You've been essential to our rise over the last 2 decades. In addition to interacting with Sun Belt coaches, players, administrators, and staff, we hope you find some time to enjoy the best food and music in the world over the next 2 days in the Crescent City. Events like this aren't possible without a talented and hardworking staff, The Sun Belt has extraordinary people supporting our 14 member institutions and their competitive goals. And they deserve our thanks for the job well done. And when you see them today, I please ask you to thank them for work in putting on such a wonderful event. I would also like to acknowledge the chancellors, presidents, directors of athletics, senior women administrators, faculty, and staff that we work with every day to move the Sun Belt forward. Because of your great work, the Sun Belt continues to rise, and our best days are ahead. I want to give special thanks and recognition to our student athletes. There's so much opportunity. I had an amazing experience as a football student athlete so I could work to provide better opportunities for students than what I experienced. In keeping with this, supports enhanced benefits for student athletes discussed by the NCAA as a part of settlement of antitrust litigation. We will embrace the changes that will result from the of the House Oliver case and the other antitrust cases that are towards settlement. We support the NCAA's approach for paying the back damages in these cases, including the portion that will be coming directly from the Sun Belt. And we want to thank Charlie Baker for his leadership in managing through these complex issues. He's done a tremendous job moving us on a path to clarity and resolution, which will address some of the complex issues that we face. We will also embrace the changes going forward that will permit Division I institutions to provide these additional benefits to student athletes. But we believe enhanced benefits are no substitute for a degree. I believe that is still an important outcome of being a student athlete. Student athletes must continue, and colleges they attend must support their work towards their college education and towards graduation. This must always be the primary goal. Embrace the additional benefits and opportunities, but we should not lose focus. I continue to believe that this is the most important outcome, and the House Oliver settlement or any other settlement that we have will not change that. This event is Sunday, and I am particularly grateful for and taking the time to attend this media day. Your commitment on and off the field is the primary reason Sun Belt is to rise. Thanks to you, 2023 was an extraordinary football season for Sun Belt, and because of you, our best days are ahead. Since expanding to 14 football, 2022 and 2023 have been the best two-year span in the history of the Sun Belt Conference. Last year, Sun Belt led FBS with 12 bowl teams and is second behind the Southeastern Conference in bowl winning percentage during the CFP era. The Sun Belt has had multiple 10-win teams for 6 straight seasons. Over the last 2 seasons, Sun Belt won 8 games against autonomy conference schools, including 4 last season when Texas State beat Baylor and Waco, James Madison won Virginia, Tech, and Alabama won at Oklahoma State. The Sun Belt is the only non-autonomy conference that has had at least one team finish the season with 2 or fewer losses in each of the past 7 seasons. And the Sun Belt has had a team ranked in the final CFP poll 4 of the last 5 years. Last year was a great season for the Sun Belt, but we believe this year will be even better. That is why we're gathered here today, to give all of you insight to what we already know. The Sun Belt is rising and our future is bright. Keeping with our successful realignment strategy, this will continue to lean in to regional rivalries. The Sun Belt is 14 universities and 10 contiguous states. We are the only FBS conference that is organized in divisions to maximize in regional football rivalries. The 2024 football season is guaranteed to have compelling and competitive matchups, passionate and engaged fans, tradition, and exciting games. Those are the hallmark of Sun Belt football. The promotion of these matchups would not be possible if fans and media cannot experience our stories live and post-game on TV or in the palm of their hand on their smartphones. So I would like to take a moment to thank our media partner, ESPN. For over a decade, every Sun Belt football game has been televised on an ESPN platform. Our rise would not be possible without their support. The partnership and look forward to continue to grow together. We have several bowl partners in attendance, and Sun Belt football would not be where it is today without partners. Last year, FBS leading 12 bowl season appearances would not have been possible without our partnerships. We're very thankful and appreciative of everything our bowl partners do to support Sun Belt football. Looking towards the future, we're excited for the expanded college football playoff. The Sun Belt has been a proponent of expansion from the beginning. The process to get to this point was long and arduous, but the outcome was positive and certainly worth the hard work. Forward to new CFP Executive Director, Lieutenant General Richard Clark, and our FBS colleagues on continued improvement. As a founding FBS conference of CFP, we embrace our responsibility to work towards creating the best playoff possible for fans and creating opportunities for our 14 Sun Belt members. The expanded CFP offers a great opportunity for the Sun Belt. I've heard some conversations from the CFP that would include only institutions from non-autonomy. I've also heard some conversations about a poll, top 25 will only be for schools from non-autonomy. To be clear on our thoughts with regards to that, we're really interested and only wants to participate in polls and post conference noting. We do not seek greatness with caveats. We just seek greatness. Unfortunately, while we are improving and winning more on the field, there is overwhelming amount of change and disruption occurring in college athletics that makes it easy to lose sight why we love college football. Take a moment to reflect on these 5 reasons that make college football so special and such a gift. 1, invaluable life lessons are learned both on the field and in the classroom. 2, while much has changed, the pageantry and the tradition of college sports have grown and resulted in record numbers of new fans annually. 3, college football is the second most popular popular sport in the United States behind the NFL. 4, college football brings people together. 5, the most important piece, most college football athletes earn a degree. Focusing on the positives regarding college football is not meant to be a diversion from the challenges that lie ahead. We must face those head on. But I do want to remind people of why college football and college athletics in general are worth fighting for. As stakeholders, we all have a responsibility to leave college football better than we found it. I ask that we all take a moment to remember these gifts that college football provides. Looking towards a stable future, the proposed settlement in the House Oliver antitrust case is a good first step. It will not solve every problem, but will provide some level of certainty as we continue to work through the difficult issues around enhanced benefits for student athletes. We will need to collaborate with members of Congress and state houses to ensure that legislation is passed to help college sports thrive. We have the beginnings of a framework for the future, but we will need other changes that will ensure that we leave behind a better system than the one we inherited. We certainly recognize there are many unknowns and issues that we must solve. I lament that as of late, so much of the conversation is focused on the purely transactional aspect of our business. I get why it is that way, but it's still unfortunate focused in that direction. I still believe for most of the students we serve, the most significant outcome of their college sports career is earning their degree, and we must not lose sight of that fact. We must remain tethered to higher education. We must continue to discuss and focus on graduation outcomes in addition to benefits. The reality is that I stand here before you today as commissioner of the Sun Belt Conference primarily because I earned my college degree and to a extent because I played football. Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate everything you do to support Sun Belt football. I'm excited to announce that 2025 Sun Belt Football Media Days will once again be held in the great city of New Orleans on July 22nd and 23rd, 2025, in this exact same spot. So the New Orleans Marriott Warehouse Arts District Hotel. As 14 universities and 10 contiguous states, the Sun Belt Conference has never been stronger. The Sun Belt is rising. Enjoy the age of Sun Belt. So thank you so much, and I will open it up for questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this time, we'll open it up to the floor to questions for Commissioner Keith Gill. We ask if you please raise your hand, and we will get a microphone to you.
Hey, Craig Stevenson from AL.com. You mentioned you're the only FBS conference with divisions. Was there ever any serious discussion about changing that, and do you foresee that being a long-term setup the way it is now?
Yeah, so we did have discussions about changing it and decided that it really was the best course of action for us relative to the games that we're trying to play and the opponents that we're trying to make sure our teams see regularly, what we're trying to do to support our fans. We brought together a lot of historical rivalries when we added schools, and we want to do everything we can to facilitate as many kind of competitions between those teams as possible. I would say that we'll always evaluate it. You know, we certainly will, as we look through this first year of the CFP, if we notice that we could put ourselves in a better kind of advantageous situation with some modifications or changes, we'll certainly consider those. So I would say that, you know, we're never going to be so obtuse to say that it's always going to be that way. If we see factors that indicate we should change it, we certainly will consider that. But right now, we feel really good about it. We feel that's a core part of who we are, and we're going to kind of keep moving forward in the direction of having divisions.
Commissioner Hunter Dawkins from the Gazebo Gazette and from Super Talk Media, Mississippi. The question I have for you is around November, when you guys start having the commissioners getting together and meeting about the football playoffs, the 12-man team playoffs, if we have the same, in the Sun Belt Conference has the same amount of autonomous victories and things as such, what position are you going to take for the position of having the one playoff team subjected from the 12 example? So.
Yeah, you know, we'll continue to advocate and push forward for our teams, you know, and we'll start that work really in early October in terms of presenting our case, whether autonomy victory over our peer conferences. That's going to be helpful because that's who we're going to be battling out with as well. And overall strength of, you know, one of the great things about, you know, it's different in the belt because, you know, every week is a dogfight. But the great thing about that is if you win those games, you're going to have an overwhelming strength of schedule. So I think when you take our full body of work over the course of the season, really strong arguments to put us in a great position to earn an opportunity to be in the CFP. And, you know, when I think about that, I don't think about it as just, hey, earning the, you know, one of the conference spots inside the top 12. Why can't we get inside the top 10? I mean, we have the quality of football to really the sky's the limit for us. And like I said, I think our best days are ahead. So we'll have a lot of opportunity to really have some great arguments based on our body of work in the season that is well to be considered.
We do have a question from Zoom. Along those same lines, this is Mac Brown of Sideline Sports Network. Commissioner, what in your eyes are things that the Sun can do collectively as a conference to ensure that our champion is represented with one of those seats?
Yeah, you know, I think that's a good question. We think about that all the time. And I think one of the things that we have done is our school in football. So we have one of the strongest football conferences in the country, and that helps us. That strength of schedule is going to help us. If you survive and you get to be the East or West and you play in the championship game, you're going to be worthy of the CFP. And I think so I think those investments have already been made. You know, I think there's always a chance of beating each other up, and so kind of when they come out. But the last 6 seasons, we've had at least multiple teams with 10 or more wins, right? Found a way to have success in that space. So I think we're really built for era of the CFP, and I think this season is going to be a really, really good outcome.
Dominic for College Football Dogs and Sunbelt Syndicate. Commissioner, we haven't had any week 0 games yet since this has become a thing now. Is there any interest or intrigue for you to put maybe some more eyes and visibility to some of the teams in the conference moving forward?
You know, week 0 traditionally has been games played out of the country, FCS games, or games played against Hawaii, generally. And so I think you raise a good point about the visibility. It's something that we have explored and looked at. We're having some conversations now about, can we create some, unique kind of non-conference matchups to start the season, and that could occur in week 0. I think there's also, a chance that the season, there's going to be some conversations about whether the season should start in week 0. So I think those conversations are ongoing. We haven't necessarily found an opportunity that made sense to us, but I think we're open to it and certainly open to anything that could certainly help us, get more eyeballs and show the country what great football we play in the Sun Belt.
Harry Minnion from ODUsports.com. Keith, right over here.
Oh, got it.
Sorry.
I was like looking around.
And I know the college football playoff standings at the end of the year are not something to be made public, and I'm not asking you to break that, but can you make the case that the Sun Belt is the best of the non-autonomy leagues in college football?
Yeah, I think I can. I mean, I think one is, I think last year when you look at the postseason, we had 12 teams earn postseason. That's the most in FBS. So from top to bottom, that means every time, for the most part, anytime you played a Sun Belt Conference game, you were playing a bowl team. We had teams that essentially played their whole schedule against bowl teams. So that quality of schedule, and if you win 11 games, 10 games in that schedule, I think that is that. I think our record against the autonomy conferences is really strong over that. We went 500 against the Big 12 last year. Other peer conferences have done that. And so I think when you look at kind of quality in terms of the quality we have, the strength of our conference top to bottom, if you win 10 wins in this league, you can tell me college football playoff and you don't deserve that opportunity. When you look at the metrics historically, last year, and when you look at the 2022 football season and the 2023 football season, who's been better than us? There really has been no one. And I think when you look at Bill Connolly's comments about where we are, and if you cross the media landscape, people think that we are kind of the best football conference, and wholeheartedly. So I think we're going to have, the great thing about all of this is it's settled on the field, and we're going to have some really good metrics to kind of support that. And I think we're going to have some really good postseason outcomes, which we've had, up to this point, and I just think they're going to get better.
Have time for one more quick one before we have to reset.
Craig Stevens from Vail.com again. You have a number of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night games. How do you balance the exposure you get from, to the interest of the fans that want to attend those games in person?
Yeah, so the great thing about it is, so we only play 2 games either on Tuesday or Wednesday. So, and so I think there's a lot of people that talk about all these Tuesday, Wednesday games. We only play 2, a maximum of 2 per season. The rest of our midweek games are Thursdays and Fridays, which are traditional kind of college football kind of experiences. We try to make sure that we spread it around. So none of our teams this year, and this has been the last 2 years, have hosted more than 1 midweek game. So that way the bulk of their game is played on the weekends or the schedule they're choosing. So the exposure is really important to us, though. We get a lot of eyeballs when we play those games in the midweek because Saturday is a saturated college football time. So I do think we have a really nice balance in terms of, we've got 2 games this year. I think they're on Tuesday, and then we've got 7 games on Thursday, and then the bulk of our schedule will be on Saturday. And I think that plays out nicely. None of our teams have to host more than 1 midweek game this year, and so it's been a good us to Saturday game as well as during the midweek.
Our apologies to those of you who didn't get your questions in. Commissioner Gill will be around for one-on-one interviews after this, but we do need to move on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.